What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. It's been, probably not for you guys, but for me it's been a couple days since I've been out here because we got really busy at the shop again, and that's just kind of how it goes. So I apologize for the lack of videos coming out. You should be caught up. I'm about a week behind real life to actual videos, but we have the Softail kind of hooked up here. Carb is back on, nothing's final. I mean, it's bolted in and tight, but it's not fully bolted down. Thank you guys for the comments on the Softail video when I brought that home and kind of tore into it. The switch behind here, I believe, is the Vose switch. I'm familiar with those. I wasn't exactly sure what that looks like in person or on the bike, but I'm 90% certain that's exactly what that one is. And by that, I mean, it definitely is the Vose switch. I've never run one. I was hoping not to have to. If it's required to make this run better, I will. But it kind of seems like a vacuum advance on a distributor, which I don't have hooked up on a bunch of my vehicles. Should be just fine if I cap that, or I can run a little vacuum line over. I don't mind. I just gotta take a look at the wiring, because if I remember correctly, it was not actually hooked up. So we might put the Vose back on, we might not. I haven't decided yet. Let me know. I know a couple people reached out. I saw a few messages on Facebook or Instagram. I don't remember which, but one of them. I had a couple messages on that. I have not had a chance to respond to those because I just did all the comments for this. I'm horrible at responding to things. I will respond to pretty much every comment when I can, but it might take me 2-3 days a week. I don't really know, but I do read all of them, so keep those coming. I appreciate the feedback. Apparently there's a lot of interest in the Softail. So here's kind of where it sits. I had the Sissy Bar on, got the bars done, drilled these out so the wires are down. However, we still don't have enough wire. So I ordered a quick little kit of wiring. Man, that got cheap. I remember back in the day, anybody that bought like the Burley kits or whoever makes the Burley-ish kits, the wiring harnesses color-coded. Now, you can get them for nothing. Obviously, still got to trim them and solder them and cut them and all that, but that's all. I just want the color-coded wires, so it's not a bunch of black wires tucked in between the bars. If you were to run them internal, in this case, I just need to stretch them so I can run them down from here. We'll just run them somewhere down the side or along the back, but I would like to get it through the hole in the triple tree and then just have it kind of hug the frame under the tank. So we will be stretching the bars on that. I don't know how much of that is going to make it into the video because wiring is not the most exciting thing in the world. But I did buy color-coded harnesses, so basically I'm going to split it. I'm going to rip off all this electrical tape where somebody else has already extended it prior, see what we're dealing with underneath, and then solder those up, rewrap it, and when we come back to it, it'll be a plug-and-play little harness. I'm going to leave enough meat on the pigtail for the connector down here, and that'll give me a couple more options in terms of trying to figure out how I want that to go, but it will be a quick connect plug and play deal. And the Sissy Bar is off. I was sitting here looking at it, had it done, took it off because the seat section, this little guy, most of the time these usually sit right around here. Dottie's taller than I am and wants a little bit higher of a back pad, which I don't blame her. So now, if I run this up top at the high point of the Sissy Bar, it's a little bulky and it sticks out and it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but it will be practical. So if you remember from the last video, the Sissy Bar was matte black, Chinese powder coated matte black, not very good. And I mentioned that I was thinking the gloss black combo here with the chrome and the matte black or satin black that's already on here. I went ahead and did that because I'm impatient. So these, do I still have the bolts here? I don't have enough for mock-up, but I can put 2 of these in and hopefully that'll stay. So now we're bringing in some gloss black onto these to contrast the satin black on the fender. Obviously, there's still going to be some chrome bits. I really wanted to do these in gloss black too, but anyways, I think a gloss black fender looks much better than the matte black ones. And the only other thing, if you notice, if you're super observant, we now have 2 mounting tabs. This was just bar stock that are flat stock that we had at the shop. These will go back on here. We have 2 back pad mounts And let's see if I can use some hands here. Sorry, I'm running out of hands. Here's the front of the Sissy Bar. This pad will sit roughly like that. So my goal was to try and get out here and get all the, well, I'll definitely get the Sissy Bar back on tonight. I don't know how much I'm going to film of that because we already did the mock-up and had it all laid out and done. But the stock one came with a bracket half this width this way. I think it was just a little 1/2-inch strip down here-ish with 2 bolt holes. I moved it up and made 4 bolt holes. So from the back of the bike, it'll look something, obviously this isn't going to be straight, but it will look something like that, and then there'll be 4 mounting points instead of 2. And I haven't decided how I'm going to do this. The kit came with some, I don't know, 1/4-inch little drywall, not drywall screws, what does it come with? Wood screws. It is a solid wood board on the back of here. This is what came in the kit, these little guys. Phillips screws that will go right through the board, but I also have a riv nut tool and riv nuts. So I think what I'm going to do is try and get this laid out. I might do the little sheet metal screw, or not sheet metal, but little screws first, get everything laid out so I at least have the templates for the holes. Then I gotta gently figure out a way to cut the fabric, maybe a punch or something, break the fabric, drill the holes, and then we can do riv nuts right into the board. I think that'll be a little bit better. But essentially that'll lay out where the top of this is right at the kink in the Sissy Bar. And when you put it up on the bike, there's gonna be a little bit of a gap between that and the seat. But again, practical. And for me, if I end up dailying this bike, having the seat end here with a little bit of Sissy Bar here for mounting a tool roll or whatever else. I got a wide glide too, so there's plenty of room up front. But another spot to store things. So I am not gentle with these. I have picked up, I mean, between this bike and the FLH, gigantic trunk fits, oh, how am I forgetting this? I can fit 6 cases of old style on that bike. 24 racks of old style will fit on that FLH if I go on a big chopper party beer run. I measured, and probably an extra large pizza too. Gets a little top heavy, but on that FLH, I've used that to pick up cylinder heads for the Falcon and the truck, intake manifolds, all sorts of small block V8 car parts on that bike. Same thing on, not the Sportster, but the Super Glide. Picked up wheels on the back, mounted them to the seat, used the little beer rack on the back there. I like things that are practical, and being able to go to the grocery store or stop on the way home. Daddy texts me for dinner stuff. Hey, can you grab this and this and this? The choppers are cool, but when they're completely stripped down, it's a pain in the ass. I don't always have bungee straps. I don't always have things set up for that. I love choppers, don't get me wrong, and I will ride the crap out of that with a tool roll and make that work for long haul trips. But I'm getting a little older, and it makes more sense. Saddlebags on the Super Glide, I wish, honestly, those were just a tiny bit bigger. It is what it is. The hard bags on the Super Glide, I got tools and some miscellaneous points and ignition stuff in there. I never use them. I never carry the key with me, or if I do, I don't know. Sometimes it's in the trunk, sometimes it's clipped to my belt. I forget about it. The trunk, I use all the time. Same thing on this. We will be putting bags on this for that reason, and having a nice little nook here for a backpack or whatever else is just going to be substantially easier. So I never got around to finishing up the other clutch side. I got to do that on my own time whenever I get time, and it has not been there lately. So quick little update in the garage. Ceramic coating is done on the Gorelli. Dogs are running around today. Still have a ton of tuning on this. Somebody just chimed in, gave me some comments on the Gorelli for timing approaches and the instruction manual and all that. I'm not at the final tuning stage yet. I have the parts to put the temp gauge on, and then it's going to be a hard, just lay into it and beat on the thing until we get this thing dialed. It's breaking up after I go past, just past half throttle, which tells me it's starving for fuel up top. If you stay in it, it continuously keeps slowing down. It's like a lean bog, and then the occasional backfire pop from running lean. Idle is definitely rich. I've got that screw 2.5 turns. Which way did I have it? I'm trying to remember which way I did that now. It was been a couple days. Anyways, it's rich at idle. I'm almost positive. I cannot kill the bike quick enough, even by covering up the carb. It takes a minute. It's running rich. I know that for a fact. So lots of tuning on that. We're not getting into that one today, but here's where the Softail sits. I know it's kind of a short little update video. I don't like not doing content things, but it is what it is given the time span. I got a car up on the lift, getting wheels done, and a bunch of other detailed custom color stuff, so maybe I'll do a couple shorts on those. But she's almost there, and I'm gonna start digging through the bins for some. Thank you, Brian, for making me take a step back. I definitely have intake manifold gaskets for this laying around somewhere. I think we're gonna pop the intake manifold and swap those gaskets out just because while we're in here right now. So that's where it's at. I'm not gonna go too much further, but if those gaskets are shot for how long this bike's been sitting, air leaks are a pain in the ass. I don't need to deal with that. Base gasket's leaking a little bit of oil, and then other than that, we're gonna kind of see where it goes. Intake gaskets will 100% affect the runnability of this bike. Oil leaking gaskets, not so much. It's annoying, but it's not gonna impede rideability, runnability. So that is where we were at for now. No Sissy Bar video on this for the final. I'll come back once that's done, and the back is all locked in, but we got all the right size hardware. It's just kind of mismatched in terms of acorn nuts and decorations, most of which are going to get covered by saddlebags. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We will be back on this whenever something fun comes up. Maybe the intake manifolds. Do you guys want an intake manifold gasket? It's an Evo. I feel like they've been done a million times, and these are not nearly as complicated as trying to lock in an O-ring on a shovelhead or ironhead. So let me know in the comments. Like I said, we will catch you guys on the next one.